Hello, hey, you're all I ever wanted, you're all I ever needed, yeah, so tell me what to do now, when I want you back. I did say hey. What's my mental health? It's alright. You're all I ever wanted. You're all I ever needed, yeah. So tell me what to do now when I want you back. Sorry, I got that song in my head because that song is trending, but I do love NSYNC. No, I went on TikTok. Hey. I don't even know how long I'm going to be live for until my phone's dying. Because it's like less than half. So I had to wash some stuff because I had cooked cheesy chicken Alfredo. And eat it, yeah. Tell me what to do now when I want you back. I'm scared. I'm just kidding, I'm not. Hey guys, how are you doing? Wow. Now they're talking about my brother. Man, people be miserable as hell. Yeah, but once my phone dies, I'm not going to put it on the portable charger because I have the one that magnetizes to your phone and it overheats my phone, so I got to be careful. Oh, that's good. Somebody literally told me to drop dead and like sent me some message on Facebook, so I told them to do it first. And then I said, and tell me how that goes, right? We all know they can't tell me how that goes once they do it first. So then they literally sent a message saying your brother is burning in hell. Okay. So now you're talking about my dead brother. What's wrong with people? Why do they just send hateful messages out of nowhere? That is odd. There's like 2 lights. There is no way. There is 2 of the same lights in the sky that are going the same direction. One went past the clouds and disappeared. It's completely gone. It disappeared. There is no way. It just disappeared into thin air. That was like one time we saw this weird light. It was flashing. And then it would disappear, and then it would come back from the other side. I didn't do nothing. They messaged me first. I could show the message where they messaged me first. So let's not say what did I do to provoke them. I didn't do anything. They wanted a reason to be provoked. That's all that is. That one disappeared too. It is gonzos. It went somewhere. I didn't see it. It was probably over there. I don't know. You're all I ever wanted. Are you getting paid to go live to talk about random crap? No, because I don't get paid at all. What's it to you? show the message, please. If you didn't provoke, I don't need to show the message. All you need to do is stay in your lane and STF you. You don't need to ask what I did to provoke anyone. Just being myself is enough to provoke people. They just look at me and they get provoked. So let's not lie and say that isn't true. When people look at my face, they are already provoked. I don't even have to do anything and people get mad at me for no reason. Just because it's me. And you know that's true. You know I ain't lying. On here, I don't have it set up for subscriptions because I'm not trying to do the whole subscriptions thing on like Instagram, because I don't really go live on Instagram like that. That's why. And I said posting content for free. Going live, I don't mind because I can talk and say whatever I want, you know, and especially on Instagram, I can say whatever I want without having to feel restricted, without having to feel like, oh, I can't say this, because then people report my live streams on TikTok. Here's the thing. If you truly don't care, then you wouldn't report somebody, especially they're live on TikTok. If you truly don't care, then you wouldn't care. You would let someone say whatever they want. But when I say something, it's always bullying and harassment. But yet, you don't care. So you cared enough to report someone, which means you're a big baby. It is what it is. Some of y'all are big babies because you report the live. Your butt hurt by what someone says. You get sensitive at what someone says. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be reporting the live and then celebrating it. Like, I don't even get sensitive at what people say. Yes, I do speak on it, but I don't report people's pages. I don't get people's pages taken down. They can feel however they want to feel, like Jay wants to feel however he wants to feel. Let him. I did not report his live stream. His page, and I did not get his page taken down. For him to be lying on the internet saying that I sent people to take his page down, he does not want to take accountability for his own actions. It was probably someone else that you was talking about that didn't like you. I don't tell anyone to report anybody's page unless it's a page that people are trying to get taken down for other reasons that, I don't know the person. But I'm not going to go after you or your page because I don't care enough. You care enough. Now all of a sudden you lose your big page, you want to blame someone else instead of taking accountability for yourself. You talk about so much people on the internet. It could have been any other person, but you chose to blame me because I'm the easy target, and people are going to come after me and blame me because they don't like me. Oh, and then if I was to show my report history and show that I never reported you, then what are you going to say? Then people are going to be like, well, it didn't even matter anyways. We really didn't even care, when people was coming in my live stream whining and complaining that they cared, and literally in the Reddit. So you can't even say you didn't even care when you come whining and complaining. And then when I prove my innocence and I prove that, you know what I mean? My live stream got taken and I can no longer go live on my main account. Mind you, the reason why I was upset is because my live stream was wrongfully taken, considering the fact I do not have children. It wasn't because I was playing Sims. They tried to say that I abused a child. How am I abusing a child on live when I don't even have any kids? Do you know what that is? And especially the fact that TikTok, mind you, TikTok was getting shut down because they didn't want you to have freedom of speech. So if something happens and your account's wrongfully taken down, that's a difference. Of course I'm going to be upset, because why are you wrongfully taking my account and then making some sort of excuse as to why you took my account? No, because that's not no robot. That's a real person behind that has a vindictive motive That's why a lot of these people become moderators for TikTok, and they work for TikTok so they could wrongfully target people and take away their freedom of speech. Me playing Sims has nothing to do with me losing my account, because they tried to say it was generated child abuse or something like that. If that's the case, every single person on the app that plays Sims or even mentions Sims should get banned. Do you not see what you're doing? Because if I got banned just for Sims, then every person that plays Sims, every person that mentions Sims, every person that has anything to do with Sims should get banned, just like me, because that's unfair. If Sims is not allowed on the app, then other people that use and play Sims should get banned. But there's a difference. I already placed blame where it was due. He's placing blame for no reason because he's upset, and he's blaming me for no reason. There's a difference. I was not talking about him crying. I was saying he was crying at the wrong person and trying to place blame on me. I have nothing to do with why Jay lost his account. TikTok has everything to do with why I lost my account, because they're the ones that review the account. They have to review my appeal before they make a decision. So yes, TikTok is to blame for wrongfully banning me. Why do you defend horrible people to begin with? He literally paid someone to try to get nudes off of me, and then he tries to act like, and then you try to act like that didn't happen, when he literally posted it himself on his page. He posted on his own page that he was talking to the person who was trying to get nudes from me, to say that I was stupid and thinking that that person was him. She's stupid. She thinks that I'm you. Ha 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 ha. Like, literally posted his own conversation with the person, and you're still sitting here defending him when it's shoved in your face. It's like a slap in the face. You guys look stupid defending someone who literally posted his own evidence on his page. And then you sit here defending him. He's the one who posted that on his page. You guys look stupid. You defend people knowing that you see the evidence, but you still go out of your way to defend them. It's weird. And let's get into it, right? Y'all remember Nicole Arbor? You know who Nicole Arbor is? Nicole Arbor is the very same girl that was making rage bait content back when TikTok was, or on YouTube, when she was trying to make money off of rage bait, being fat phobic. Not only was she fat phobic, she's abusive. She got like her husband or whoever came out against her that she's abusive, right? And she also said that if she was racist, then she would own slaves, because she said, I will own slaves. It would be kind of nice to have someone cook and clean and do everything for you, right? Well, you know who Nicole Arbor tagged in her comment section is Ash2 Trippy, and her and Ash2 Trippy are buddy. So if you're gonna sit here and say that, oh, you defend your brother and abuse this, abuse that, then why is Ash2 Trippy buddies with Nicole Arbor, the same Nicole Arbor that got called out for being a racist, fat phobic, and also abusive to her husband? Ash2 Trippy, are you going to address that, or are you just gonna forget what Nicole Arbor did? Because we ain't forget. And I did forget, actually, because when I searched her up, that's when I remembered who she was, because I remember the controversy back then. So you guys will just defend other people, and it's okay for them to do things, but when it comes to someone you don't like, they can't do it, but other people can. You see, that's crazy, because Ash2 Trippy is buddies with someone who literally is abusive. So Ash2 Trippy supports abusers. All because she wants to involve herself in the Jelly Roll drama. I guess apparently she got bullied by Bunny too, or something, that she says she got bullied as well. So you're defending someone who abuses people. And nobody cares about Nicole Arbor's issue with Jelly Roll anymore, because her stuff is coming back out. She's getting exposed, and now people are being like, Now how are we supposed to believe what you say about Jelly Roll when you said this? She literally said dear fat people and went on a whole rant being fat phobic, rage baiting people just to make money. And not only that, said that if she was racist, that she would own slaves and it would be kind of nice to have someone to do all the work for you. Why did you have to go into an analogy like that? You defended yourself by being racist? That makes literal no sense. To prove you're not racist, you then turned around and said something racist. Oh, well, you should, because a lot of you guys defend her. A lot of you guys literally listen to what Ashley Trippy has to say about me, meaning that you also defend abusive people. Because if you stand by Ashley Trippy that stands by someone that abuses people, then you also agree with everything that she agrees with. If she's hanging around people, if she's being buddies and friends with people that are racist, then she is also racist. Which makes you a racist. You should care about the people that you interact with. Ooh. That was a flash in the sky. Jeez. You should, because if you're not vetting the people that you're looking at, then what are you doing? Because when you that's like saying, I don't care what this person does. Then you should care about the ideologies of the people you hang around with. You can't be friends with someone that is racist and say, well, I don't agree with that, but I'm still their friend. At the end of the day, you do agree with that. You have to literally pay attention to every single person. You know what I mean? What do you mean if I defend a pedo, I am a pedo? First of all, you like, here's the thing. You believe what anybody says online. You don't look at receipts. Someone can show you something that is fake and you would believe it. I know my brother in real life. So if you're trying to say that I'm a pedophile for defending my brother, when did my brother ever have time to even interact with a minor when he was only talking to his friends on the phone? I know that because I was right next to him. I literally lived in the front seat. Let's not act like I didn't live in the front seat. I lived in a car with him. We were door dashing all the time and he was working at Jimmy John's. When he was working at Jimmy John's and I wasn't with him at Jimmy John's, why would he be on his phone the whole time instead of doing work? And he also was a manager there at Jimmy John's. And on top of that, you're going to listen to somebody that has an investigation against them for touching disabled students at APS schools that got fired for that. Because why don't you go ask Nicole, aka Angie, why she no longer has her job at APS? You won't do that. Because how is a predator going to call anyone a predator? She doesn't want people to look into her situation and see what's going on. And the reason why I know is because I know her in real life. You don't know her in real life. You think you know someone because the internet tells you who they are. If you've never met a person in real life, you shouldn't be sitting on the internet judging someone. You can't be sitting on the internet judging someone. My brother worked because my brother wanted to work. My brother was different than me, and I'm going to explain this to you. My brother did not want to work for himself. My brother did not want to run a business. That's why, and when you say, was my brother conforming to the system? In a way, yes. But my brother never wanted to own a business. My brother wanted to be a mechanic. My brother wanted to work his whole life. Every time he would lose a job, he would get another job. My brother loved working a 9-to-5 job. I cannot tell him what to do with his life because I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you need to stop conform, because his dreams was not running a business. His dream was being a pilot, a captain, and flying for the airlines. If you didn't know, my brother knew everything there was about the airlines, and he even said that he wanted to go through all the process of being a pilot. I was concerned because, when an airplane falls from the sky, especially airplanes that go missing, you just gotta say your Hail Marys and that's it. Because when an airplane's falling out of the sky, there is no survival rate, especially if you're like 3,000 feet in the air. That's like a very dangerous job, but my brother wanted to do that. So if he wanted to do that, that was on him. He also at one point wanted to go to police training and become a cop. I mean, these are things that he wanted to do. Like, I'm not gonna stop him from a job if he wanted to work his life, then he did. He didn't want to run a business. My dad wanted him to do things he didn't want to do. I'm not going to force him. He literally had a certificate to change brakes. He literally took classes in high school to be able to do that. He wanted to work on cars, which is why he was trying to get this job where you could possibly work on hot rods. He loved cars all his life. He worked, and that was something that he loved to do. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like a parent that tells them, oh, you can't do that. For me, what I want to do is what I want to do. People don't care how someone feels. You make someone feel unworthy. I feel unworthy. You make me, you say, what do you say? You say, oh, we don't want you to kill yourself. Then that's how you make me feel, and you don't care how you make someone feel, because feelings do not matter to you, because you haven't dealt with your own feelings. You have feelings from past hurt. You have feelings that you're still dealing with that you could care less. You push those aside, and you don't care about how you make someone else feel, because as long as you make them feel like crap, that's all that matters to you. Is, hey, I made someone feel like shit. I'm proud of myself. That's a horrible way to live your life as a human being, to get some sort of enjoyment out of making someone feel like utter shit. No, I feel unworthy because anytime I try to do something, anytime I try to change myself, like I've been going to therapy, I was paying the bills, I was paying the rent where we were at, and I was helping my family have a place to live. People told me that was not good enough because I did not have a real job. And I was doing everything that everybody was telling me to do. So why were you harassing me if I was already doing what you were telling me to do? Because I didn't have a job that you wanted, then that's cause for you to harass me because I didn't have a 9-to-5 job just like you? No, I was paying the bills. I was paying the storage and I was paying the rent. My dad's disability check did not cover a whole month's worth of rent. It only paid some of it. I had to pay some of it because if you remember, I have to pay bi-weekly. We wasn't paying monthly. We had to make enough for the end of the month because a lot of these places don't do monthly, they do weekly. We were paying $300 and something a week at one place, and I was helping to contribute to that with my live streams and my social media. And when my live streams got reported and taken down, that sucks because then I couldn't earn the money to be able to keep up the rent. I was paying $300 a week, if you can tally that up. My dad's disability did not make enough to pay a whole month. I had to do that. And on top of that, I had to pay storage. My brother asked me if I could give him the $200 to pay off his car, and I said sure. I helped him pay off for that white Jetta that he had because he was making payments and that was the last payment he needed to pay to the guy to get the car. So I said yes because we needed the car. Yeah, you saw me buy this stuff, right? I bought those makeup kits when they were on sale. I bought that ice machine, right? But I still paid the bills. I didn't, just because I was making $1,000 every month did not mean I still didn't have bills. My phone bill was over $100 because I was paying for mine and my brother's phone, on top of paying for the storage and other things that we needed. I was getting things that we needed. Pots and pans, I got that because we didn't have any way to cook. Laundry soap, I had to get that because we didn't have any way to wash. Toilet paper, I had to buy that. Hygiene products, I had to buy that. Because how are we going to live and how are we going to take showers with no hygiene products? Hello? How are we going to use the restroom with no toilet paper? These places only give you so much toilet paper. We just have to buy our own. Like, some of you guys really love to question and say, like, what did you do? You didn't do nothing. Yes, I did. Yeah, my dad's disability did help us for partial of the month, but I had to pay the rest of it. Bible, he didn't have money in his Bible. He didn't have money at all. I wasn't scrambling through his Bible trying to look for money. What Bible? Don't even lie like that. I didn't even scramble through my dad's Bible. He didn't even have money in his Bible. All of his money was on a credit card. And he got paid every month. And he stopped getting paid because he went to jail. When you go to jail, you don't get your disability check. Hello, he went to jail. We weren't able to pay. That's why we weren't able to pay for the month, because they stopped paying him because he went to jail. Do you know how that works? Minors in my motel room? What are you talking about? I had no minors in my motel room. I don't even know what you're talking about. No one came over. It was me, my mom, and my brother. Stop spreading false information, because, I'm not even going to argue with someone that's a stupid ass bitch. I don't even need to argue with someone that's trying to make up stuff. That's like me saying, remember that time your dad touched you and you didn't tell your mom? Like, come on, quit lying. Be truthfully honest, because God sees everything. Trying to make up shit. When you get to heaven, God's going to pass down judgment on you and send you straight to hell for lying. You need to be truthfully honest and come clean with yourself before something happens, because you never know. Tomorrow is not promised. You could leave this earth and then what? Go straight to hell for lying. What does it say in the Bible? Read it. You need to get right with God before, I'm just saying. After what eviction? Are you talking about the apartment? Like, man, some of y'all are idiots. No, what's wrong with you? My dad literally made $1 million in fake money. I didn't say it was real money. Use your common sense. It is a website called TD Ameritrade. Do you guys know what TD Ameritrade is? It's fake trading, so you can practice how to trade stocks. So you can practice stocks. He was using the website and he literally was trading fake stocks, and one of the stocks he picked hit $1 million in fake money. It's not real money. It's fake money to learn how to trade. You're not trading real money. No way, shape, or form did I say he made $1 million. If he made $1 million, we wouldn't be here. He would have bought a house. Stop trying to twist my words. Anyone can go look up what TD Ameritrade is. Only stupid idiots do not know what TD Ameritrade is. Somebody's going to look at you like you're stupid. paper trading is different because, well, maybe it is paper trading, I don't know, but it's not trading real money. It's literally fake money to practice when you do actually trade, because you can lose a lot of money in stocks. And if you think that if you just run and go put your money into stocks that you're going to do well because people make money off of stocks, you need to really you need to better think your situation, because nobody just runs and starts throwing money into stocks. If you don't know nothing about stocks, you shouldn't even be investing in the first place. People just see all these people make millions of dollars one go, and then they run and put all their money into stocks. That's not how it works. You need to do some research before you start buying stocks. You just don't throw your money into something haphazardly and then expect it to work out. No one literally just runs and tries to up and start a business. Yeah, some people do, because they don't think. You just don't open a restaurant unless you have knowledge about everything, unless you have knowledge about the house codes and what it takes to run a restaurant, how much it's going to cost for your monthly bills when it comes to electricity, how much you got to pay your employees, how much you got to pay for produce and all the things that it takes to make and cook your product. Then you got to put together a menu. No one, and yes, some people might just run, right? They might just run and up and start a business without even thinking and planning. But you need to plan before you just start putting all your eggs into one basket. You always you move from one thing to the next, and like, it's getting boring. You keep bringing up old stuff, and that's in the past. Who said I was giving money advice? That has nothing to do with money advice. I just literally said you could lose a lot of money in stocks. So why would you go invest if you have no money to invest in stocks? Use your common sense. You don't go invest $20 into stocks, because you're not going to make any money at all. You have to invest at least over thousands of dollars in stocks in order to see a return on anything. Well, why, if I'm boring, then why are you still here? You know what is funny? Is you taking advice, money advice, from someone that is rich. They ain't gonna tell you how they made the money. They're gonna tell you how they did it, and how they did it is not gonna work for you. What their sauce and their system is does not work for everyone. That's like someone trying to tell you how to be successful on YouTube when all you have to do is just turn on your phone, film a video, and then post it on YouTube. You don't need some sort of secret sauce like the one that they when they lied. Remember when they passed the secret sauce around in Space Jam and they drank it and they thought, "Oh, this made us play better because we drank this." We drank this juice, so now we're better, stronger, faster basketball players. That's not how it works. I will never take advice from someone that is rich with money, financial advice, because they're not going to tell you exactly how they made money. They might keep some secrets to themselves. They're not going to tell you everything, and even if they do tell you everything, it's not going to work for you. A lot of these people were born with a silver spoon up their ass. They were born already rich. They already had the tools since birth to help them become rich. That's why people don't like Nepo babies, because Nepo babies were born with all the opportunities in the world versus someone that has to work hard to get an acting job, and someone who was born of a family that literally has connections and can get a person an acting job just like that. Oh, you don't even gotta work twice as hard, because your mom's let's say your mom is Cameron Diaz. Your mom Cameron Diaz. Okay, we'll give you that. We'll give you this role over someone who has worked their entire life from the bottom up. Someone who doesn't have connections like Cameron Diaz's kids have connections. That is illogical thinking, to think that you would never, you get more information from a homeless person on the street than you would someone online. There are some wise homeless people out there. Shoot, you think just because someone's homeless they're stupid? Then that is illogical thinking, because you think you can go to someone that's qualified in the position and they still may not be qualified. Yeah, go talk to someone that makes millions of dollars. They still might tell you something that doesn't even help you at all. It doesn't matter if someone's got money or not. Does that mean that they're qualified? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, right? Technically, I'm not broke because I have money for my phone bill and then the money for the storage next month. But I would rather be broke paying bills than to be broke spending money on frivolous shit. Considering the fact that a lot of these celebrities, a lot of these people that make money, you know what they do? They end up going bankrupt because they didn't pay their taxes. Or they spent their money on all this fancy jewelry, all this expensive cars. I would not want to listen to someone who thinks buying a fancy car is is okay, because to me it never makes sense. You got 5 houses. You mean to tell me that you want me to take financial advice for someone that has a house in Florida, a house in Miami, a house in LA? You do not need 5 houses. If you live below your means, you'll be a-okay. They don't even want to help people except hoard for themselves. Do you think the 1% of rich people is going to tell you how they make money? No, because they don't want you to be rich. They ain't gonna tell you nothing. And the ones that write books that tell you anything, that try to give you advice, are not giving you the full advice that they learned. And they're teaching you something that isn't gonna work for you because it worked only for them. It's not gonna work for you. The way things work for them is not gonna work for you. Everybody is different. Like, it doesn't work. You act like I don't know about the other bills. I know about car insurance. I know about car gas. I know about utilities. I know about all of that. I'm not stupid. Like, people that work hard to get what they have aren't entitled to. People that work hard to kiss other people's asses to make money. I'm not here to kiss ass. So they can kiss someone's ass. That's like telling someone they need to work above and beyond them. Sorry, the 20% battery came up. You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to work harder for my money? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You can work hard to make a lot of money. You don't have to work hard to make a lot of money. You don't. If you haven't figured out how to make money without working hard, then you haven't figured out life. You don't have to be rushing. You don't have to be running. You don't have to be working your fingers to the bones just to make money. You don't have to work hard. Lots of people make money and they don't work twice as hard as someone who works a 9 to 5 job. Some people sleep while they make money. They make money while they're asleep. Well, that's you. If you love to work hard, no one's saying anything about your job. So why are you mentioning your job? Yeah, people like their jobs. No one's saying you don't have a right to like your job. No one's talking about 9 to 5 workers. You can work hard. I'm not working hard to live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not working hard to make someone else money. That is my choice. Why are you telling me to be miserable like you? You are miserable. Because if you wasn't miserable, you wouldn't be telling someone to go get a job. You want someone to be miserable like you. You can't say that because you spoke it. You said it. You didn't even have to say it without saying it. Why are you complaining if I don't have a job or not? Because the reason why a lot of you are complaining is because I don't have to get up and go answer to a boss and go work a job, and you do. And you don't like that. You don't like when someone is doing slightly better than you, so that's why you complain. If it didn't bother you, you wouldn't be complaining. You don't complain. People don't complain about nothing. They complain about things that bothers them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be complaining. You can't sit here and say you're complaining for no reason. You have a reason why you're complaining, and you dodge around that reason. You try to say that nothing bothers you, but it does. You try to say that you love your job when you really don't. Because if you loved your job, you wouldn't have to say you loved your job. That's like, and I learned this from someone because somebody said, you wouldn't tell yourself you're smart. Oh, I'm smart. Why would you have to tell yourself you're smart if you know you're smart? Why would you have to tell yourself you love your job if you know you love your job? You wouldn't have to come on the internet and tell somebody, hey, I love my job. Because if I came on the internet and told people, hey, I love my job, then I really don't love my job. And I do actually love my job in a sense because I can work whatever hours I want to work. I can go live when I want to. I can make and post videos when I want to. I decide my own hours. But when you claim that you have a 9 to 5 job and you come on here and you say you love your job, that's a difference because you really don't love your job. You're just trying to make it seem like you do. If you had the option and you were given a choice, take $1 million and never have to work a day in your life or work a 9 to 5 job, what are you going to choose? Because I know it's sure as heck. I know sure as heck. You ain't going to be choosing the 9 to 5 job. You're going to take that $1 million. Meow, 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 meow. This cat came running through here. Brr. He's going to jump. He went AWOL. I'm just kidding. Anyways, you would be a dang fool to choose that 9 to 5 job. You would be stupid if you took that over the $1 million and never having to work. If you had a choice and they said your life was going to be easy, you're never going to have to work a day in your life. You're always going to be set, financially stable, your bills paid, your house paid, and you'll never have to work a 9 to 5 job. What are you going to choose, the 9 to 5 job or the easy life? The easy life. And you know you would choose that 10 times over. You cannot sit here and try to preach to someone when you yourself need to be preaching to yourself. You're preaching to the wrong choir. You're trying to relate to someone that does not relate to you. You're trying to tell someone to conform to a system that they do not want to conform to when you yourself do not want to conform to that system. Because if you were given $1 million, you would take it. You would not take the 9 to 5 job. You would take the easy way any way you could. You go to work daydreaming about being financially set free. Everybody wants to be financially set free. Everybody wants to be rich. You can say you don't, but you do. You compare yourself to how much money you make compared to somebody else. That's why. And when you see someone has the potential to be great, to make money, to be successful, you tear them down, you thrash them, you trash them, you talk crap about them, you complain about them, then you pass it off as like, oh, they're a horrible human being, when really deep down inside, you're bothered at the fact that they are successful than you. How is this girl more successful than me? How is this girl making this much more money than me? And I have to get up and go to a job every day, and she doesn't even have to go work. She can get up whenever she feels like it and go to her desk, turn on her phone screen, and make money. And I can't do that. It is not hard to just turn on your phone screen and make videos. Yes, you gotta make content that people like, right? It is kind of hard in a sense. It's not easy to do the social media stuff. But the only thing that is blocking you from being successful is yourself. You're self-sabotaging. You compare yourself. You judge yourself. You make yourself feel like crap. And when you have that mentality in your mind that you will never be as successful as the person that you see, anybody would love to replace their life with any word rich. If they handed you this and they said, if you could be any one rich person for a day, and you could pick any rich person or take a 9 to 5 job, what would you take? Being the rich person. You don't want to have to work a 9 to 5 job. And I am going to make that analogy with a 9 to 5 job because you know for a fact you would not take that. And if you take the 9 to 5 job, you're stupid. Everybody wants an easy life. You cannot sit here and say you've never dreamed of making thousands of dollars like Kai Cenat does, literally hanging out with all these celebrities, having these live streams, hanging out with Kevin Hart, Kiki cackling, having laughs, hanging out with Drewski, opening up gifts, putting on an entertaining live stream. You would replace your life any day if you could live in Kai Cenat's shoes. And you guys know you would. To sit here and literally tell someone that they need to be miserable like you is crazy. I don't need to be miserable like you. If I want to be successful and make money to own a house and literally help my mom not struggle anymore so we're not homeless anymore, we're financially stable, why does that bother you so much? You shouldn't be worried about that. Because I have to work hard on social media. It's not easy. And I can't work hard on social media when I don't have a place to live. And I'm trying to get a place to live. And then I'm being told, oh, well, you're not doing enough. You don't know. You are not in my position to know all the shit that I have to go through just to get a place to live. I went through so much bullshit to even get a place to live that there are people that are frustrated seeing exactly what's happening to me. You have not lived in my shoes to know what it's like even trying to get a place to live, especially with programs that are for people with no income. I'm tired of the bullshit. I qualify. I have no income. I don't even make anything on social media. I do not. I qualify for these programs. Literally sit here and say, you don't qualify for these programs. Yes, the fuck I do. And in that case, that is discrimination because I qualify for these programs. They have no right to turn away or deny me because I ain't making no income whatsoever. And it has nothing to do with getting a job. They didn't tell me I needed to get a job to get a place to live. I was not told that I needed to get a job to get a place to live, so let's not lie. I just literally told you about the no income thing. There are housing programs for people with no income that you can get a place to live with no income. Or did you not listen to what I have to say? Yes, there are some places that charge 30% of your income. And then there are some housing programs where you don't need no income at all. I literally already knew that because if I needed to get a job to get a place to live and get help with housing, I would have already gotten a job. There are programs in New Mexico for people who literally can't work and make no income to get a place to live. Yes, in Albuquerque, there are programs for that. They have these new programs where you don't have to have an income to get a place to live. I'm disabled and I'm trying, and like my major depression, my PTSD, I struggle. So yes. But you're not understanding. A job does not equal shelter, because if I get a job, I won't be able to afford to live in this economy. I don't know where someone's paying $500 for one bedroom, but sorry, the 10% battery came up. I don't know where people are going to look at apartments, but technically, Um, there's no apartments for one bedroom for 500. They also want three times the rent. You have to have first last month's rent, deposit, damage deposit. That's a thing, right? I would still be living in a shelter, and I would still be working at a job. I don't want to be working at a job and living at a shelter. Like, what? There's no way I'm gonna be doing that. And that car is like flying through here. Slow down. Jeez. You hear that? No, you're saying I'm not trying to fix any of the issues. Nowhere was I told for these housing programs that I had to get a job. I'm not wanting to fix the issues, or you're mad because it doesn't fit, because I don't have to get a job to get help with housing. That's what bothers you. Either way you try to say it, I don't have to get a job, and you're mad because I don't have to get a job. That has nothing to do with fixing my issues. They didn't say I had to get a job to get help with housing. I just told you that. You're mad because it doesn't fit what you want it to be. That's like the sky being blue and then you're trying to cry that it's purple. No, it's purple. No, it's purple. It's not blue. It's purple. Man, like, get over it. I don't have to get a job for housing, so move on. They have to tell you everything. It is a housing program for people with no income. Yes, they have to tell you if you need to get a job or not. I literally asked these questions. I'm not stupid. I literally applied to a housing program where you did not have to have income, because I said I have no income. And I told them I couldn't work, and I said I don't get any disability. And some of you guys are stupid fucking idiots. Fucking idiots, man. I shouldn't have to explain this to you. They need to tell you everything. That's like a company not telling you everything and then selling you a product, and something happens to you and they say, oh, well, yeah, that does happen with their products, but we didn't tell anyone. Yes, they have to tell you everything. It's a program. They have to tell you everything, so you know if you qualify or not. They're not going to have you apply for something you don't qualify for. Imagine wasting someone's time and making them apply for something they don't qualify for, and then, well, you could have told me that. Well, sorry. No, that's not how it works. That's unprofessional. I would not make someone go out of their way to apply for hours only to be told they don't qualify for a program they applied for hours for. You're just mad because I don't have to get a job that you want. Your type of job, your way. This is not have it your way. This is my way. What did Frank Sinatra said? I did it my way. I'm not doing it anybody else's way. If I do it your way, you know what happens if I do it your way? I'd be miserable. I am disabled. It's literally on paper. I am disabled. I have a learning disability because I had IEPs, I have PTSD, and I have major depression. The reason I don't get disability is because I was just diagnosed last year with major depression and PTSD. That's why I do not get disability, because I tried to get disability in the past when I had a learning disability and I had to get my IEP paperwork. But they sent me to a website that was for college prep. And if you know anything about your records, they only hold your IEP records up to 5 years. It was after the 5 year mark, meaning that I could not get my records anymore. And I got denied for disability, even though my mom is disabled and she gets denied. She's hard of hearing, she has all of these health problems and she gets denied. The reason why I don't have disabilities is because I just got diagnosed, dumbass. That's why I don't have disability. You thought, like, what did you think you was doing by saying that you don't have disability because you're, man, that is ableism. Anyways, the 10% battery is up and I have to go get some sleep. Mental disabilities are considered that actually it doesn't have to be a physical disability, because with physical disabilities it's a lot harder for you to even qualify for disability. So you say, oh, your legs work. Yeah, even if someone's legs didn't work, they still can see that that person can work, and then they won't give you disability. You have a better chance of getting disability with mental disabilities than you do with physical disabilities. That's what I was told. That's what I was told. So for you to say that, oh, well, your legs work, yeah, but if I have a mental disabilities are a lot harder to go to a job and work because you can't be around people because of your mental disabilities. For me, I have PTSD. I could get triggered by anything. I get triggered by even the littlest of loud noises, and not all the time, but yeah, when I hear a pop sound, I freak out because I'm like, is that a firework or is that a gunshot? Like for me, my depression is bad. Some days I can't even get up and get out of bed, but I have to. I was told that mental disabilities are the ones that are easier to get disability than a physical one, which is crazy to me. A disability is a disability. It shouldn't be that hard to get disability. Well, I'm not lying. That's the truth. A mental disability, people with mental disability, some people can't even be around people. My dad can't be around some people sometimes. Yeah, he can, but sometimes he just stays home and keeps to himself. He was going to a job and he stopped going to a job because he didn't want to be around people. That's just how that is. He can be around people at sometimes and then sometimes he can't. The reason why I don't have disability is because I just got diagnosed.